Every morning you wake up, you open your eyes to what feels like a solid, dependable world. The chair beside your bed, the light creeping through the window, the photos on your nightstand, they all appear real, fixed, and unchanging. But what if I told you that everything you see, everything you believe to be certain, is actually shaped not just by your senses, but by the quiet whisper of your subconscious mind? And what if the reality you experience each day isn't something that simply happens to you, but something you help create from the inside out? You see, science and philosophy have started to dance together in ways we never imagined possible. Quantum physics, once a distant and abstract field, has now brought us closer to understanding a truth that ancient wisdom has echoed for centuries. Your mind, especially your subconscious mind, is not merely a passive receiver of the world. It is an active participant in shaping it. Let's begin with something astonishing. In a series of famous experiments known as the double-slit tests, scientists observed particles behaving differently depending on whether or not they were being watched. When unobserved, these particles remained in a state of possibility, like a cloud of potential futures. But the moment someone looked, they changed, collapsed into a specific form, as if the act of observing had chosen what would become real. This isn't a theory. It's been demonstrated repeatedly in controlled laboratory environments. And it leads us to a remarkable conclusion. Our attention has power. Our focus has consequence. What we see isn't just about our eyes. It's about what our mind brings to the moment of observation. Now imagine this. If a single act of focused observation can determine the path of a subatomic particle, what happens when your mind over a lifetime focuses on certain beliefs, certain fears, or certain hopes? What becomes of a world that is constantly being filtered through those internal patterns? For most of us, by the time we reach a certain age, we've lived through thousands of days of thought patterns that settle into habits like grooves in a well-worn path. Neuroscience shows that over 95% of our daily thoughts and behaviors come from the subconscious mind. That means we're not consciously choosing much of what we think or feel. It's our internal autopilot programmed by years of repetition, memories, emotions, and past experiences that is steering the ship. And here's the breakthrough. This subconscious pattern doesn't just affect your attitude. It shapes the world you experience. This isn't just poetic language. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a researcher who bridges neuroscience and quantum theory, has shown through brain scans that when people repeatedly visualize a positive outcome while feeling elevated emotions like gratitude or awe, their brains begin to rewire as if the event has already occurred. They don't just think differently. Their biology changes. Their heart rhythms shift. Their cortisol levels drop. Their immune function improves. That's not magic. That's measurable change, rooted in the extraordinary interface between mind and body. Philosophers have long asked, what is reality? Plato suggested it's a shadow on a cave wall. Descartes questioned whether anything could be trusted outside the mind. But today, science joins the conversation and gives us something profound. Reality is not as objective as we once believed. It is participatory. It is responsive. And your mind, your beautifully complex, resilient, and still evolving mind, is not done shaping it. So here's where it becomes deeply practical. If the reality you live in is influenced by your subconscious patterns, then the first step toward changing your world is not outside of you, but within. It begins with awareness. It begins with curiosity. It begins with asking yourself each morning, what do I choose to believe today? What emotions will I rehearse? What thoughts will I entertain, knowing they are planting the seeds for tomorrow? You are never too old to reimagine the world. The brain maintains neuroplasticity well into advanced age. This means that change is always possible. You can develop new mental pathways, form new emotional habits, and begin telling a new story about what is possible for you, even today, especially today. Try this. Tomorrow morning, before reaching for the news or the phone, sit in stillness for 5 minutes. Place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply. Picture one thing you want to bring into your life: peace, connection, vitality. Imagine it not as something far away, but as something already with you. Feel it. Let the feeling move through your body. This small act, this conscious observation infused with emotion begins to program your subconscious in a new direction. And over time, like drops filling a cup, your internal world will begin to change your outer world. Remember, you are not powerless. You are not merely surviving reality. You are participating in its creation. And that is the beginning of something truly magnificent. Think of your mind as a vast garden. Every thought you've ever had, every belief you've carried, every emotion you've repeated, these are seeds that have taken root deep within the soil of your subconscious. Some of those seeds you planted knowingly, through choice and intention. But many were sown without your awareness, over years of experience, habit, and repetition. And just like any well-tended garden, what grows there, whether nourishing or thorny, becomes the landscape you live in. Now here's the remarkable truth. That inner landscape doesn't just influence how you feel, it determines how you experience the world itself. Science is now revealing that the subconscious mind isn't just a storehouse of memories or automatic behavior, it's an active, energetic force that is continuously shaping the material reality you encounter. In the field of neuroscience, researchers like Dr. Bruce Lipton have shown that over 90% of our behaviors are driven by subconscious programming. This means most of what we do, feel, and attract into our lives is not consciously chosen in the moment, but rather emerges from the emotional and mental scripts we've rehearsed over time. From the relationships we attract to the opportunities we notice or miss, we are often living out the echo of old beliefs. And here's where quantum physics steps in with a compelling connection. The universe, at its most fundamental level, is not made of solid stuff, but of vibrating energy. Everything you see, from your coffee cup to your heartbeat, is composed of particles in motion, interconnected, responsive, and in constant interaction with fields of energy. One such field, the quantum field, is a sea of infinite possibilities, where every potential reality exists in a suspended state until it is observed, focused upon, or chosen. This is not science fiction. It is supported by experiments in quantum mechanics that show particles behaving differently when observed, collapsing from a state of possibility into one of actuality. Now imagine this. Your subconscious mind, with its constant stream of repetitive thoughts and emotions, acts like a radio transmitter, broadcasting signals into that quantum field. It doesn't judge or analyze. It doesn't ask whether your signal is positive or limiting. It simply sends. If you've carried a belief for years that life is hard, or I'm too old to change, your subconscious reinforces that vibration every day, and the field around you begins to respond accordingly. It's not just philosophy, it's physics meeting psychology. But the beautiful truth is the system works in reverse too. If you begin to introduce new signals, beliefs of possibility, emotions of gratitude, images of well-being, the subconscious begins to adapt. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections even late in life, proves that you are never too old to change your mental blueprint. Studies from Harvard and MIT have demonstrated that even brief periods of mindfulness and visualization can alter brain structure, improve memory, reduce stress hormones, and increase clarity. So what does this mean for your daily life? It means that you have more influence than you think. If your subconscious is the soil and the quantum field is the climate, then your thoughts and emotions are the gardener's hands. To cultivate a new experience, begin by noticing the old seeds you're still watering. Do you wake up expecting disappointment? Do you carry a quiet sense of unworthiness? These are not just feelings. They are energetic instructions being broadcast into the field. Begin shifting the pattern with small but powerful practices. Each morning, before the day rushes in, speak 3 beliefs you want to be true, even if they don't feel fully real yet. For example, say, I am capable of renewal. I am aligned with peace. I am open to joy. Then close your eyes and imagine what it feels like to live that way. This emotional rehearsal, done consistently, begins to overwrite the old patterns stored deep in the subconscious. Remember, the subconscious learns not through logic but through repetition and emotion. If you want to change your life, don't just analyze it, rehearse a new one. Feel it in your chest, see it in your mind's eye, and reinforce it through daily ritual. You are not trying to force reality to bend. You are aligning your inner world with the possibilities that already exist in the quantum field. Like a tuning fork calling to a matching frequency, the energy you emit determines the melody that plays around you. Your beliefs, no matter how deeply rooted, are not fixed. They are choices that can be rechosen. And your subconscious, like fertile earth, is always listening. So choose your seeds wisely, speak with intention, feel with courage, and begin again, knowing that the power to reshape your reality does not lie in the stars, it lies within the quiet soil of your own mind. Picture yourself standing before a vast field at dawn. The air is still, and in front of you are countless seeds, each one holding a possibility. Some will grow into beautiful flowers, others into towering trees, and some may never sprout at all. What determines which ones take root? It is your gaze, your attention, your intention. This is not metaphor alone. This is the essence of the observer effect in quantum physics, a principle that suggests the very act of observation influences the outcome of what is being observed. In the renowned double-slit experiment, electrons behaved as a wave of probabilities until they were measured, at which point they collapsed into a specific state. In simple terms, reality remains fluid until you engage with it. Your focused awareness selects from a sea of options and brings one into form. Now let us bring this into your daily life. What you focus on consistently is what takes shape. If your thoughts are drenched in worry, frustration, or limitation, those emotional states create a signal that interacts with the quantum field, selecting similar outcomes. But if you consciously shift your attention toward gratitude, peace, or creative possibility, then you begin to sculpt a new path through that field. It is not enough to think about change. You must feel it. Neuroscience backs this up. When a person visualizes an experience while generating the emotions tied to that experience, the brain begins to fire in new patterns as if the event were already happening. Functional MRI scans have shown that emotional rehearsal activates the same neural networks as the physical event itself. This is why athletes practice mental rehearsal to improve performance. Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps, for example, visualized every stroke of his race thousands of times before ever entering the water. When you pair intention with emotion, you are amplifying the signal you send to the world. Think of your thoughts as the frequency you broadcast and your emotions as the volume. A thought without feeling is like a whisper in the wind, barely heard. But a thought charged with deep feeling sends a vibration strong enough to echo through the fabric of the universe. This is how manifestation begins, not in magic, but in resonance. Now consider this. How often do you allow yourself to truly feel the outcome you want? Not just to wish for it, but to sit in the emotion of already having it. If your goal is to experience vitality, what does it feel like to have energy pulsing through your body? If your desire is connection, what does it feel like to be embraced by understanding and love? You don't need the external condition to begin. You need the internal experience to begin attracting it. This is where the science of heart-brain coherence offers a valuable insight. The HeartMath Institute has shown that when people cultivate elevated emotions like gratitude or compassion, their heart rhythms become more ordered, sending signals to the brain that improve clarity, reduce stress, and synchronize bodily systems. In this state, you are not just calm, you are aligned. And when your heart and brain align, your entire electromagnetic field expands, increasing your ability to influence the energy around you. So what can you do right now? Start with a simple daily practice. Each morning, choose one intention. Close your eyes and see it clearly. Then breathe into the feeling of it as if it were already part of your life. Let that feeling grow inside your chest until it becomes your dominant state. Even 5 minutes of emotional alignment can begin to rewire your brain, recondition your body, and recalibrate your energetic field. Repeat this throughout your day. Whenever you find your mind drifting to fear or doubt, pause and return to your intention. This is not pretending or denial. This is training your system to live in coherence with what you wish to create. Philosophers have long said, "As within, so without." Today, quantum science echoes that wisdom. You are not a spectator of life, passively watching events unfold. You are a participant, a co-creator, sending signals and shaping responses. Your attention is the light that makes the seed grow. Your emotion is the water that nourishes it, and your repeated focus is the sun that allows it to thrive. So be deliberate, be kind to your mind, feed it images of the life you desire and feelings that align with those images. Reality is not as fixed as you were once told. It is a living canvas, responsive to your gaze, and the brush is already in your hands. Imagine your conscious mind as the captain of a ship, standing tall on the deck, charting a course and issuing commands with clarity. But deep below, in the engine room, the subconscious mind keeps the machinery running, responding not to words but to patterns and impressions. The success of the voyage depends not just on the captain's orders, but on whether those orders match the rhythm and operation of the engines below. This is the great secret of manifestation. It is not enough to set a conscious intention. If the subconscious holds conflicting beliefs, the ship will drift or spin in circles. The key lies in alignment, in bringing both the conscious and subconscious minds into harmony so they can move as one. And the path to this alignment begins with awareness, then repetition, then emotional engagement. Let's be clear, the subconscious does not argue, it does not question, and it does not analyze. It simply accepts. Like a faithful gardener, it nourishes whatever seed is planted most often and with the strongest emotional charge. If you tell yourself each day that you're too old, too late, too limited, your subconscious takes that as instruction and begins to shape your reality around those limitations. But if you begin each day reminding yourself of your capacity for growth, your readiness for peace, your right to experience joy and contribution at any age, the subconscious listens just as carefully and responds accordingly. This is not just poetic thinking. Behavioral psychology and cognitive neuroscience have shown us that repeated thoughts and emotionally charged experiences rewire the brain's neural pathways. Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz, a pioneer in neuroplasticity, demonstrated that focused attention combined with intentional practice can literally change the structure of the brain, even in older adults. People suffering from obsessive-compulsive behaviors were able to redirect their neural patterns through a four-step process involving awareness, relabeling, refocusing, and revaluing. What does this mean for the rest of us? It means that no matter how long you've carried a certain belief or habit, it is not permanent. It is pliable. It is rewritable. And that is powerful news. It means that if you have lived 65 years under the weight of certain internal narratives, you are still capable of revising the script and turning the next chapters into something entirely different. Now let's bring this into the realm of daily life. When your conscious mind sets a goal to improve your health, to strengthen a relationship, to explore a new purpose, you must ask yourself, does my subconscious agree? Or is it quietly saying, this is too hard, too risky, or not meant for me? The subconscious speaks in feelings and symbols, not logic. So your task is to speak its language. Visualization is one of the most effective tools for this. When you visualize a goal already achieved and pair it with a vivid emotional experience like joy, gratitude, or awe, you create a powerful signal that the subconscious absorbs as real. Athletes use this technique to train their bodies. Cancer patients use it to support healing. You can use it to create alignment and activate change. Take 5 minutes each morning. Close your eyes and imagine your goal already complete. Feel the pride, the peace, the relief that comes with that moment. Then carry that emotion like a quiet fire throughout your day. It is not the length of the practice that matters, but the sincerity of the feeling. The subconscious responds not to time but to emotional depth. You can also support this process through language. Speak affirmations that match your vision, and do so with your hand over your heart, breathing slowly. This somatic gesture connects mind and body, anchoring the message in your system. Instead of saying, I want to be peaceful, say, I am stepping into peace with every breath. Repeat this gently, not forcefully, like watering a garden. The more often you speak these phrases with conviction, the more they settle into the soil of your subconscious. And the more consistent your inner message is, the easier it becomes to act in ways that support your desired reality. You'll find yourself choosing healthier habits, responding with more compassion, noticing more opportunities, all without effort, because the alignment has taken root. Philosophers from the East and West have long pointed to this duality within us. The Taoists spoke of yin and yang, the interplay of internal forces seeking balance. Carl Jung, in modern psychology, explored the conscious and unconscious minds as partners in the process of individuation. Today, neuroscience gives us the tools to work directly with these forces, showing that consciousness is not a fixed trait but a trainable skill. You are not fated to repeat yesterday's mindset. You are free to shape today's. So begin simply, practice emotional alignment, speak intentional words, visualize outcomes that fill your heart, and trust that your subconscious, though quiet and unseen, is listening and responding. The more you bring conscious intention and subconscious belief into harmony, the more naturally your reality will reflect your deepest desires. It is never too late to sail in a new direction. The captain is ready. The engines are waiting. All that remains is your signal to begin. Each morning offers a threshold, a quiet invitation to choose again. Before the noise of the world floods in, before the headlines and habits and responsibilities begin their familiar rhythm, there is a sacred moment when you can shape the energy of your day like a sculptor with fresh clay. This is where practice becomes power, not in grand gestures or rigid discipline, but in the gentle art of daily alignment. At this stage in life, with wisdom seasoned by experience, the greatest gift you can offer yourself is not more effort, but more presence. Science shows us that consistent rituals have a profound effect on the brain and body. In a study published by UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center, participants who practiced intentional morning routines involving visualization and gratitude showed increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, optimism, and future planning. They also had lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates aging and suppresses immunity. This tells us something important. How you begin your day not only affects your mood, it influences your biology, your focus, and your ability to manifest meaningful outcomes. Now imagine starting your day not with worry or routine, but with intention. Picture this. You sit quietly, feet grounded, hands relaxed, eyes gently closed. You take a few slow breaths, letting the air move in and out like waves meeting the shore. Then you bring into your mind one clear intention. Not 10, not a long to-do list, just one. It might be peace. It might be vitality. It might be connection. You picture yourself already living this intention. You feel the emotion of it in your body, perhaps lightness in your chest, warmth in your hands, a steady rhythm in your breath. This isn't fantasy. This is a form of neural rehearsal that primes the subconscious to recognize and respond to opportunities that match your vision. Olympic athletes use this technique before competition. Corporate leaders use it to prepare for high-stakes decisions. You can use it to shape each day with clarity and ease. And if you combine it with gratitude, the results become even more powerful. Gratitude is not just a feel-good emotion. Studies by Dr. Robert Emmons at UC Davis have shown that regular expressions of gratitude improve sleep, reduce inflammation, and strengthen heart rhythms. It shifts the brain out of survival mode and into receptivity, where new possibilities are easier to see and embrace. What makes these practices effective is not their complexity, but their consistency. Just 5 to 10 minutes each morning can change the tone of your entire day. And when practiced over weeks and months, this ritual becomes a signal to your subconscious. This is who I am becoming. This is the reality I am choosing to participate in. It is not about forcing outcomes or demanding miracles. It is about gently steering your awareness toward what you want to grow. Like tending a garden, you water the seed with attention, nourish it with emotion, and protect it from distraction by returning to it throughout the day. Even when challenges arise, which they will, you carry that internal compass set each morning. You respond rather than react. You remember what matters. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius spoke of morning reflection as a discipline of the soul. He wrote that each day we must prepare ourselves to meet ignorance, rudeness, and injustice with the calm knowledge that our inner world need not be shaken. Today, neuroscience validates that practice. We know now that starting the day with focused attention and positive emotion builds emotional resilience, improves decision-making, and even slows biological aging. This is not self-help talk. It is supported by data and lived by those who have made intention a way of being. So here is your invitation. Tomorrow, before anything else, give yourself 5 minutes. Breathe, visualize, feel, and speak aloud one phrase that anchors your intention. For example, today I move with grace. Today I receive with openness. Today I contribute with love. Write it down if you like. Carry it in your pocket. Return to it before meals, during quiet moments, or when the day feels noisy. This phrase becomes a thread connecting you back to your purpose. And remember, repetition is not about perfection, it is about alignment. If you miss a day, return the next. If your mind wanders, bring it back gently. If doubt creeps in, meet it with curiosity, not criticism. Over time, you will notice something subtle but profound. Life begins to meet you differently. People respond to your energy. Solutions arise where once there were only problems. Your body feels lighter, your thoughts clearer. You begin to realize that manifestation is not a moment, it is a way of moving through time with awareness and intention. At this stage of life, you carry the strength of your years, the stories of resilience, the clarity of what truly matters. Let this be the season where wisdom meets practice, where presence becomes power, and where each morning becomes a quiet act of creation. Not because the world is perfect, but because you are choosing to shape your experience of it with intention, compassion, and joy.